Welcome back to EMT-TV. This video is part of the Inquiry Mate for Trainers video learning system. I'm Martin Webster and the topic for this video is what is Inquiry Mate for Trainers? This is our mission statement. As always, just pause the video if you need more time to read it. The most important word in this statement is enables. Operating a business in Australia is quite a challenge, but the VET sector has its own extensive range of unique challenges. There are many ways to address those challenges, and that leads to a diverse range of business strategies in the sector. We've tried to design a system which enables you to align the system to the way you do business. The system thus enables you to achieve compliance with regulations without restructuring your business around the regulations. Here's the objectives for this topic. Firstly, I'd like to explain the thinking behind the system design. Inquiry Mate for Trainers is a fully integrated piece of general business software with support for the special requirements of training providers built in. The benefits of integration are well known: reduced data entry time, improved data quality, ease of use due to a common user interface, it's easier to install and support, and better management control. EMT can replace systems to manage your company contact lists, marketing, scheduling, planning, attendance, funding systems, customer analysis, document management, and many others. This is a simple representation of the general business cycle with an orientation towards VET training providers. We'll start with marketing. Marketing activities generate demand and create inquiries, also known as sales leads. Marketing can be both external, such as advertising, trade shows and call lists, or it can be internal, such as approaching past or current clients for more work, referral programs, cross-selling from related products and services. Salespeople then turn those leads or inquiries into sales by providing information and following up the customer, with their permission of course, until they make a decision. Of course, one of the most important things about making a sale is getting paid. EMT also has built-in accounts receivable functions, so you can chase payments and improve your cash. Planning and sales may overlap or reverse depending on your business model. You might publish a schedule of course offerings and sell places in them, or you may schedule courses to respond to demand. Most providers use a mixture of these methods to provide flexibility to their clients. EMT fully supports all of these options. Planning includes things like managing viability of classroom courses, printing class lists for trainers, and developing detailed timetables for students and teachers. Delivery is about the actual training process. This is the area where we step aside somewhat and defer to specialized learning systems and processes. Traditionally, this was a face-to-face process anyway, but these days the growth in online learning systems mean we're developing interfaces to these systems. Again, delivery and assessment may overlap. EMT has functions to record the assessment process at several levels, from simple course completion to module results, competency results, right down to assessment tasks. This data then leads to the production of certificate documents and all the compliance reporting. Feedback is a required process for RTOs with the quality indicators, and we fully support entry and reporting of the QI data. More importantly, you can use your own surveys in addition to analyse the results of all surveys so you can achieve genuine business improvement. The feedback analysis then leads on to continuous improvement. EMT has a system to track issues and document improvements, which is easy, effective and compliant. To close the loop, that improvement, if it's working as it should, leads to more marketing opportunities. In fact, it probably leads directly back at all points, but the important business outcome of continuous improvement is learning what customers really want from each stage of the process. You can then use that to drive sales via referrals and repeat business marketing systems. Our objective with EMT is to support and assist with every stage of the process, so you can benefit from the sharing of data and processes between the stages. You don't need to use EMT for every stage, but the more you use, the more you benefit from integration into a single system. Now I want to run through the key features of EMT. This is not a complete list, as it would be far too much to cover in one topic. First, our inquiry management features. One of the distinguishing features of EMT compared to many systems which deal with contact records is our fuzzy logic name searching. At most points in the system, where you are first identifying a person in any of several roles, the system will search for contacts with the same name or a similar name. If it finds some, it shows you the options so you can decide whether you've found a match or not. Systems which use simple prefix matching usually accumulate duplicate copies of the same person due to name misspellings, alternative names, and incomplete data collection. You're probably getting a bit tired of looking at blue slides by now, so let's have a look at this feature in action. This is the inquiry search function of EMT. There are many ways to find out an EMT, but the first and favourite way is this form. What we're doing here is finding out what we know about a person who is inquiring about something and doing what we can to help them while capturing all the information we can. So here I've searched for Bill Jones. Note that it finds some Williams as well as some other names which are only just similar. You can adjust how sensitive it is to variations, but we work on the principle that it's better to show a few marginal non-matches than to miss a real match and create a duplicate. The system is also aware of the gender of some common names and uses that to reduce false matches. For instance, if you search for Chris, as I've just done, you get both male Christophers and female Christines. If I search for Christine instead, we'll only get female Christines, some Christies and Kirsties, etc., and also any female Chris's. The system even has features to search for pairs of duplicate contacts and merge them into one. You can also do this manually if you happen to find a duplicate pair. We won't have time to go into every point in so much detail in this topic, but I wanted to give you an idea of the level of depth and refinement in the system. On to the next few points. Flexible inquiry handling means you can talk to the client freely, recording information, responding with pre-arranged form letters, and creating follow-up actions as the conversation flows, rather than forcing the client to answer your questions in order. Repeat customers are considered inquiries too. You may already know a lot about them, but you can always gather more and check and update the information if needed. You don't need to create an inquiry for each phone call. The inquiry is the conversation leading to one or more course registrations. In some cases, you can extend that over months or years, depending on how you choose to define when an inquiry ends. The ideal outcome of an inquiry is one or more course registrations and/or item sales. EMT has features to process the sale, send invoices and receipts, chase outstanding payments, and analyze sales performance. I'll expand on these a bit later. Our course structure is not tied to the AQF structures, so you can define your courses as modules the way you want to sell, deliver, and assess them. In the reference area of the system, they can optionally be linked to the National Units of Competency and Qualifications for all official reporting purposes. EMT gives you the flexibility to make tentative or unconfirmed bookings, or bookings where you don't yet know the student names. The registration is made by the customer, who may or may not be a student. It can be fully processed even to the point of invoicing and payment, and you can gather the student details and results at a later time. You can schedule course offerings ahead of time in a published schedule, or schedule to order for on-site company bookings, apprenticeships, traineeships, correspondence and online courses, for instance. EMT can even manage the viability of pre-scheduled offers, as well as checking capacity limits. There are features to send invoices and receipts, and to chase outstanding payments, including part payments and instalment plans. EMT can manage simple class lists or even complex timetabling depending on your needs. You can even use EMT to record sales of stock items such as books, notes, tools and consumables, and manage your inventory of those items. Our built-in actions system can be used for any systematic administration process you want to define, such as eligibility checks, prerequisite checks, student follow-up, etc. You define the workflow and how the tasks are shared and actioned between staff members. Next, we'll talk about the student records features. If you want to use it, EMT goes beyond the minimum record-keeping requirement for compliance. You can define any number of tasks which lead to completion of a module. There are even features to warn you about students who are not progressing in their tasks, so you can chase them up. You can print official qualification certificates, statements of attainment, and internal certificates of attendance, both individual and group, and even print cards to a card printer. All layouts are fully configurable in a user-friendly form editor. The EMT includes the necessary features to accurately track student attendance and trigger follow-up actions when students reach various levels of absenteeism. This not only enables you to comply with the ESOS Act for overseas students, but it also allows early warning and follow-up to address student welfare issues. Our list of compliance reporting is longer than most. As well as the required VETMIS formats in all jurisdictions and the quality indicator data, we handle vet fee help claims, Victorian Student Register, state traineeship reporting, NWDF funding claims, even Indigo reporting, several others. If you need an industry-specific reporting option which is driven by a government regulation or a funding scheme, we'll do everything we can to support that. EMT can also export invoices and payments to accounting systems, including MyOb, QuickBooks, and the new online system Xero, which we use and recommend. Going beyond the operational features, EMT includes many features to allow managers to analyse and control all of this data that's being collected. For instance, by simply collecting a "how did you hear about us" type response for each inquiry, which you can fully customise to your own activities, EMT can provide graphs and reports to show you how well each marketing activity is performing. That's in terms of both quantity of inquiries and in the quality of those inquiries, i.e. the number of registrations, students, and revenue value. EMT can record and analyse evaluation surveys, including quality indicator surveys. It can also enable you to manage salesperson performance and commissions, venue capacity and scheduling of trainers and venues. It can even do profit and loss analysis at the course offering level. I'll just give you a quick look at that. Go to the management menu, choose profit and loss report. Choose a course code, so we'll just look at the outcomes for a particular course and the detailed format. Now there you can see a summary of the revenue components, including the actual revenue, including any discounts offered, and a breakdown of the costs based on standard amounts or actuals, and you can see it makes quite a difference to the outcome as to how many students are actually booked in. Our document management system is simple and effective. Any type of file can be closely linked to any of 16 different data objects and can then be searched globally. It also includes a simple version control mechanism. Now you might be wondering how EMT ended up with so many features. It's the result of our continuous improvement process. EMT was driven by real customer needs right from day one. It started as a customer booking system for Northern Sydney Institute of TAFE's commercial division and was then extended to support the records and compliance requirements in collaboration with a local RTO, Back to Basics Business Training, in 2005. Since then, we've been developing features mainly in response to customer feedback. The other major driver of development, of course, is the demands of regulators and funding bodies. We're involved in a range of industry bodies and get involved in proposed regulation changes as early as possible. We use a prioritised change request system, so no requests get forgotten, and we're always happy to negotiate the schedule of proposed changes. We aim to release 3 major releases per year, including major compliance changes, customer requested changes, and our own ideas for improvement. We also release minor updates as needed between the major releases, usually on a weekly basis. These updates, however, are never mandatory. You only need to update the software if there's a feature you want or if there's compliance changes that affect you. We're currently working with several clients at the moment on interfaces to their websites and learning management systems. These interfaces are usually implemented as features of the core product. We have a policy of implementing any official compliance requirements into the main product as long as it has some wider application. For instance, in response to one client's needs, we developed some reports to help compile the annual reports for Indigo funding providers, a scheme focused on providing education to Indigenous client groups. Well, hopefully I've gone some way to answering the question, what is EMT? And you have a feel for the type of software product and service we offer. You might like to review these objectives now and see what you can recall from the presentation. If you're interested in particular topics which we mentioned briefly here or others which may not have been mentioned, please just contact us and ask. Or otherwise, you can check to see if there's a relevant topic in the EMT-TV content menu, which might offer some more detailed information on that topic. Please call or email us as shown if you have any questions. Here's our main office number and my direct email address, which you won't find on the website. If you're currently looking for a new student record system, we offer a free online live demonstration, which we strongly recommend for potential clients. Thank you for listening.